and welcome to a new episode of Stop and Hop, a show centered on how to stop a certain sin or habit and how to hop onto a new virtue that's helpful.
Today we have with us Uncle Haney to help us discuss this aspect. Hi, Uncle Haney.
Hi, Jessica. Hi, Myrna. Good to be here. So, you want to talk about selfishness. Okay. How do you want to start?
We wanted to ask you how selfishness manifests itself.
Good point. So, I think there is no one in this studio or any of our viewers
In the world.
in the world doesn't know what selfishness means and how selfishness can be presented. But I think to discuss it will make us be aware of our own weakness more. So, one of the aspects, as you said, selfishness is selfishness in mind or being self-centered. Basically, I want to think, what do people think of me? How do I look?
But is that really being selfish? I mean, being selfish, and like I've always thought of it as like always wanting something for yourself. But is it, I think, like sort of being self-centered. I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I don't think it's really being selfish as much as like having a big ego and thinking you're like.
But big ego and selfishness, I think they are cousins. And remember,
Cousins, distant cousins, maybe.
Yeah, remember, if I want to all the people to talk about me, it's kind of selfish. If I find you being praised and I'm not being praised, I get angry or upset
It's more jealous.
at the people. But,
Like they're all related.
but because I am selfish.
You feel the jealousy.
Jealousy is only the sort of the symptom, but the inward cause is because I have a very big self-centeredness. How do I look? The girl who wants everybody to tell her how do I look, how great I look, how beautiful I am. I think that's one of the reasons or manifestations of selfishness. I think another one is selfishness through actions. Like, I don't care about what you are interested in or what your needs are. I'm only interested in my own needs, my own comfort, my own. I am the most important person in this whole room and whole world, whole class, whole family. So if somebody needs to take a rest or or needs something to be done, my needs need to be fulfilled before or first. I am the first to have and the last to give. So that's selfish through actions. And if I am reviewing or reminding myself with my own last month, do I always want to have first and give last, or sometimes never give? Then I need to examine myself. I think there is also selfishness in speaking. Like, I want to be always picking my hand. I don't want anyone to speak. I want to be always the speaker.
Off.
I'm the only one man standing. I'm the only one girl speaking. So I'm the main speaker or the first speaker. And I like to be heard, and I don't want anybody else to be listened to. I'm willing to ignore what you're asking because I want to be talked to or listened to, or appears that I am the center of the universe. So, I mean, maybe I'm giving the maximum or the extreme of selfishness, but remember, we all have some sort of selfishness. And selfishness, in a way, it's self-preserving initially. But unfortunately, the magnitude of it, which lead to become stop of a sin, as our program is, can become a malignancy. The last manifestation of selfishness is feelings. Like, for example, I feel I need self-pity. I'm always pitying myself. I'm always feeling bad about myself. I'm always feel that I am being prejudiced against. I am not given enough prestige or enough attention. That's part of selfishness. Some of us think, oh, that's something else, but it's really selfishness, because I want my feelings to be babied all the time. I want you to take care of my feelings all the time. Although she may have needed much more attention than me, but no. It's like a child that was born and you are the older sister, but you don't want any attention to the new baby. And that's very common when a mom gives birth to a new baby. The 2 years older boy is jealous and is angry and all of this, but it's, again, they don't understand, but it's selfishness and feelings. So those probably are the main manifestations of selfishness.
So what are some of the complications that are the result of being a selfish person?
You can help me out with this. Some of the complications could be that I am disliking or less liking other people.
I think it's more other people won't like me if I'm so like self-centered.
That's
if I'm
very
so
true,
egotistical.
but I mean, very true that eventually I'm very selfish. I want to be the first one. I want to be always talked about. I want my feelings to be taken care of, and my needs to be fulfilled first. Some people say, hey, we can work with this guy. He just want to be the only one standing.
I think also if you're constantly being selfish and you constantly want all the attention centered around yourself, you'll start doing anything to get it because you're so used to having the attention put on you, and you'll do anything to get it. And sometimes you'll do things that are very bad, like you'll do anything. You'll be desperate for attention, and that could have various consequences.
I mean, a lot of wrong things happening in high school boys and girls and some college kids, that they were so much babied and so much attended to their selfish needs to the extent they don't know how to say no to themselves because they were never told off about something that, no, you cannot take this. No, but it's mine. And we know that since we were children. But on the other direction, I lose love of others and I don't give love to others. So they don't like me, as you said, but I also start hating because I only love myself. There is only one person I love in this world, which is me, and anybody else. And that's where the complication of selfishness, that I hate, that I dislike, that I wish the bad thing happened to you, or I wish something gets snatched from you, your new dress, your new hair, your new color, your new car, whatever, because I want me to be the owner of all this. One other thing, a complication of selfishness and being a Christian channel, we have to talk about it, which is really the deterioration of a spiritual life. Because Christianity, in one word, is to love the other. And selfishness is the opposite of Christianity.
I mean, obviously, you're so focused on yourself and how you look and what people think of you, or not necessarily what people think of you, because if you're selfish, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, in that whole sense where you're the first priority to yourself, then
Exactly.
You're not going to really focus on
if
getting
we
close
think
to God.
of Christ himself, how selfless, I mean, if you think about that aspect only, he leaves his throne, he leaves his comfort, kingdom of God, and he comes to become like less than any one of us, being born in a manger, coming on the cross to save others. Complete selflessness. Complete
I
selflessness.
mean, going out of his way to help people and to cure and to teach.
Exactly. And when he wasn't praised even once, no one was praise him. Everybody will actually curse him, speak bad about him, talking him that he's the friend of the tax collector, he's the friend of the prostitutes and the sinners. Look at this, and that's why when I say deterioration of spiritual life, a person who becomes so self-centered is so distant from becoming Christ-like. Because Christ-like, prototype of Christ is selflessness, losing self. To the extent, as you know, the famous verse, if you want to follow me, hate yourself, ignore yourself.
Leave everything behind.
Leave everything behind and ignore yourself, carry your cross and follow me.
So what are the ways that you treat selfishness? How do you become not selfish?
Yeah, so how do you become selfless
More
or
selfless, not necessarily. I mean, I don't think it's really
Possible
that.
to be completely selfless?
I don't think it's good to be completely selfless. I mean, if you're so focused on other people and on giving, I mean, I'm not like, like God was God. He was a perfect example. But I think when people become too selfless, their own needs begin to deteriorate, and I don't think that's healthy or helpful.
I think it's a very good point that you're making. And to tell you the truth, we are far, far, far away from that example of the perfection and selflessness. But I think at least let us think, how can we approach or close or narrow the gap between complete selfishness and gradually coming to become Christ-like. And as I try to do in every program like this, we decided that the stop and hop is stopping a bad thing and hopping in a good thing, and there are always three verbs that start with R. So in here will be revise, resist, and replace. Revise, resist, and replace. And for revise your feelings. Think and examine and search what are your feelings are or were at the end of the day. For example, why I got angry because they praised Jessica's beauty, because I want to be praised for my own handsomeness or beauty. Why did I get angry? Because Myrna answered the question right, because I don't want anyone to praise her. That's a feeling. So once I start saying I was angry here and I examine, I say, okay, my anger came because I'm selfish. So review that or revise that.
But don't you think someone who is really selfish would make excuses for themselves? Like if I'm asking myself why I got jealous that they were praising Myrna, well, I would make excuses for myself. I would be like, oh, but I did something better, or I did this and I did that, and nobody saw this.
You continually bring yourself up.
Yeah, they would constantly make excuses for themselves.
And that's why selfishness, as I said, it's cancer, because cancer is deceiving. So yes, I will say, oh, look, Myrna answered this question, but I could have answered, but I gave her the chance. And all of a sudden, my selfishness is even getting bigger, and my anger towards her is being so justified. And that's why I'm saying, if we really want to cure ourselves, we want to shine the light on our wrong feelings and review, why did I get jealous? Was that a true jealousy? And if it was jealous, because of what? Because I'm selfish. Also review your words. Some of us sometimes say an angry word, and as you said, justifies the anger to himself, say, oh, I'm defending the truth. And rather than, if I'm really examining myself well, I'll find that these words were so harsh. And the harshness came because I have a selfish feeling or heart, not because I was defending the truth as I claimed. Also review your attitude. Sometimes I give an attitude in the church or in the college or in class or whatever, an attitude because I feel like I'm above you. And the word FOB, for example, that became very fresh off boat or out. FOB?
Fresh off the boat, yeah.
Yeah, fresh. You don't know this? Wow.
Really?
How can you don't know this?
I don't. Like you've never heard of the word?
Okay,
Yeah.
I looked at it wrong.
Like the kids who come from Egypt sort of recently, and we have been here for say 5, 10, 15 years, we have an attitude towards them because some of them are very good in one aspect, and all of a sudden they come here, they know songs, they know hymns, they are good deacons or whatever.
The sad part about that is we once were those kids at
exactly,
one point.
But we forgot. And we compare ourselves with fresher off the boat. We were fresh off the boat one time, but those are more fresh. but because I'm selfish. I don't want anyone to take my position, my place, my circle, my friends, my attitude towards them. I need to examine it. Do I have a good attitude or not? So the first plan of action, the first prescription to stop selfishness is to review or revise. The second is resist. And resist the wrong feelings.
But how do you resist the wrong feeling?
Yes, and I think that's what Jessica brought up. Meaning, I have a feeling that's wrong towards you because I like to be first and I don't want you to be first. But I need to resist that, meaning if I'm going to speak, I'll hold my tongue. I'm not going to speak. If I have this bad feeling, I want to actually say good thing about you rather than saying bad thing. Because if I encourage you or I say, to tell you the truth, Myrna said a good thing. And it comes so painfully difficult from me. But the more I do it, the more I'm resisting. And all of a sudden, you will like me, and we are both actually friends. Although if I would have put you down, you would have disliked me, and I would have disliked you, and would have been more distant and less friendly, and all of this. Resist also the bad thoughts, the bad words, the wrong attitudes, like all the things that we said to review. The next step is to resist. Exactly like a person who have diabetes, sugar in the blood. The first thing is, oh, my blood sugar is 200. That's the revise. That's a negative. But the positive, oh, I'm going to stop eating candy.
Going to exercise, take my medication.
Exactly. So the positive thing to revise is to resist. Stop doing the wrong attitude and bring a positive attitude. Bring an encouraging word to this girl that just came in. And if you encourage her, you are not losing anything. Your ranking is not going to go down.
The Bible mentions that you should always be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to wrath. And I think that really relates to this topic and how, you shouldn't focus on yourself as much. And it's a lot better to be a listener than a speaker, because eventually people, I think, get sick and tired of constantly hearing your voice.
That's beautiful. And actually, I read, I'm not sure who wrote it, but I believe it was an Indian wise man who wrote that God have created us with 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Gandhi, I think.
Maybe Gandhi, I'm not sure. But the point here is, I am speaking more and I'm judging more because myself is so big. And because it's so big, wants to speak all the time and doesn't want to listen except to the praises to myself. I don't want to hear any praises to anyone except me. The third is replace, and I wonder, what do you guys think? So I don't speak all the time. So we said revise, resist, and replace. Let us think of what do you replace? Let's think of, we spoke now about selfishness for the last 15 minutes or so. What do you think we should replace?
I think a good thing to replace it with is, like, instead of, as you said, a person who's selfish always takes first and gives last, if ever giving anything. I think the first thing that somebody who wants to change themselves would be to give to others. Like, a good way to start is to serve in church, or give to the poor, help the poor.
Volunteer outside of church.
Yeah.
So rather than always worshiping yourself in a way, you are now serving or helping or going out of your way to help others.
Just taking the time off to do something, whatever it is, or maybe if it's just helping out a friend or tutoring a kid who doesn't do anything. As long as you're doing something that doesn't benefit you and only you, then I think that
so replace the time centeredness around yourself to time offered to others to benefit from your time. What else do you think we can do to replace in order for us to become less selfish, as you indicated initially?
As I said before, listen.
So replace the speaking to more listening, and actually replace the bad words with good words. Rather than you say, oh, she doesn't know anything, oh, she just came out.
Focus on the positives.
Why don't you say, wow, I really like today the way you sung. You sang very well. I like your voice. That doesn't make you less of a good voice, but actually we will be a nice chorus together.
Makes you a better person.
Exactly. And remember, the other person probably will praise you more because you started by praising.
But you shouldn't praise them so they
Not
can praise
that
you.
you're needing this, but so replace your words with better words. Replace your own time with offering time. Probably replace your feelings with feelings towards others. Rather than, I want people to think of me. I want people to praise me. I hate this person. I don't like this person, should be the first. How about replace these feelings with more generous feelings? St. Paul said in Romans, be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love and honor, giving preference to one another. In honor, giving preference to one another. That's complete not complete, but selflessness. That I am putting you ahead of me.
That takes a lot for a selfish person to be able to actually put someone else ahead of them, or to be able to lower themselves and to help other people.
We all need to work on this. I think I'm the first. We all need to start really thinking of giving honor to others and put them ahead. And as St. Paul said, giving preference and honor to one another. That allows the person to be feeling that you are not always in the front.
I think also when you help somebody else and when you put someone in front of yourself, it doesn't just affect the person. Of course, it makes the person that you're putting in front of yourself happy, but it also makes you happy, I think, in a way, because you see what you're doing to help them, or how happy they look, or like
you're making a difference.
Yeah, or making a difference with someone. And I think that really helps you too, because it kind of affects how you think, and I think that'll make you realize that maybe you're better off being selfless than selfish.
Yeah, very good point. I think all of these points about replacing a bad thing with a good thing, and all the stop and hop ideas that we are presenting to ourselves and to our viewers, all are really pointing to the same answer you said. And of course, as you said the verse before, let us not love in word or in tongue, but in deed and truth. And I think you meant to say that in your own way, and you put it in a very nice way, that we need to actually act upon the love, not just say it. So that's a good action. So I think, again, in summary, it's revise, resist, and replace. Revise your actions, revise your thoughts, you revise your attitude, revise your words. Then resist doing these things, and replace all of this with more positive or good things.
So to recap, today's episode was about selfishness and how we can stop focusing on ourselves and focus on other people, or just bring other people up rather than bringing ourselves up. So if there's one thing to take away from this, is to be slow to speak, slow to wrath, and quick to listen.
Thank you for being here with us tonight, and thank you, Uncle Haney, for helping us. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.